I mean, y'all get the gist of it. So and at the same time, obviously, I don't think we can table it again because the bill's actually going to be due at some point.
I make a motion, we
Break it up,
give you the,
four installments or something like that? Does that come all at once?
Yeah, he can actually do that anyway, I think,
Yeah.
no hardship.
Can we just, offer that,
Offer
that up, give them a, make sure the city is sound and due if it's full amount, but give him his. Yeah,
I'm going to give you the adjustment, so they can make another motion.
Okay.
Yeah, we just.
Okay, the motion on the floor from,
Oh, no, I can.
motion on the floor from Steve is that we grant the adjustment. Is there a second? His motion was to give it to him.
Yeah.
So it will die due to a lack of second. So now is there a motion to deny?
It dies. It dies.
But we were voting on to go ahead and give him a second bite of the apple against Palm City, against.
Die due to lack of second.
We can make the.
I think that would be here, we call for how we did that. And we hadn't done it, I can't.
That's right, that's right.
Anyway,
I can make a motion that we put it on the hardship.
with the understanding that we offering the payment plan, and hey, we can revisit if he has the information changes, just let him walk while we want to work with him. He's an asset to the city. Let's go to general business, request to accept the agreement with All Pro Disposal and Recycling for recycling services. This is cardboard, in case this is live. This is cardboard, not everything. So it's actually,
I'll make a motion.
hopefully I'll put in the door and,
Second for discussions.
for discussion. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, I would ask Steve to amend his motion along the lines that I may have discussed with all of you earlier via an email, which would be authorize the mayor to sign it, but striking out the indemnification language that I pointed out to you guys in my email.
That's what I meant to make the motion.
That's gonna come
I'll
out.
second that motion.
Second, right. Oh,
Well, I got a couple of questions on that.
oh,
One
go
is,
ahead.
the contract did not specify cost for repeat pickups. You said so.
Oh, like putting them two in one.
Yeah, so I don't like to have an unknown factor, but if we had a lot, let's say this goes splendidly well, that's went out 5 times, and then we come back and say, congratulations, the cost is $100 for
Every
every time.
time you.
Yeah, so I'd like to clarify how
Clarify
much
that.
the second pickup is. And I'm hoping that the citizens, we do this right. But you know, we've had a past history of not taking care of these sites. And when the gentleman came and talked to us, he specifically said that his driver would help clean up the site and pick up stuff. Inside the ground contract agreement, it clearly says he's not gonna get out of the truck. And so if he drives up, he sees something that's mixed in, maybe some plastics or bottles, or couch, or you know, he's probably just gonna drive away. And then we have a build up and build up. Part of this is how we manage that site, which is always, I think, is what happened the last time we did this. So, I'd ask the police chief or the fire chief, what are some options we have to, I mean, we're asking for the good grace of people to do the right things when no one's watching. What do you recommend in that corner? Because this is between Walmart, that dead end street, and that strip mall.
I mean, there's a criminal statute for illegal dumping, require that being observed by a law enforcement officer to be able to prosecute or issue that citation. Or really anyone that could see that, you or the citizen could have the right to come and sign charges on that. That's called personal affidavit. There's a whole other process of that. But we do our best, but if you're asking, do we have the manpower to just monitor that one area? I can't dedicate that to you. We'll do everything we can to help you with that. I don't want to know more than anybody else does.
Put a tracking camera over there.
That's what I said, that's exactly what I said.
I think the short solution is, I mean, if it's abused, then
We
we do what we've had to do in the past. And we'll be giving our best shot.
And this is a month-to-month contract, with a 38 notice. Like I said, we want this to work. We want the citizens to have this opportunity, and like I said, if it gets abused, then we'll have to shut it down. But, like I said, we'll probably optimism front. But if we clarify that the cost, And then with understanding that, you know,
That's month to month.
we might have to spend man hours to go over and clean up. And then, so, and Mike, it's probably gonna be on you, the street team. So, you know, as we go through this, I'd like for you to kind of report back, say, hey, I just sent guys over there 6 times just, you know, over this last 2 weeks. Because that would tell us, is it worthwhile? And if we're spending money having your guys do that versus cleaning out ditches, then maybe it's not value added to the, you know, to the city. So.
Jake, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Jake, that is a good idea to have a camera there, you know. If you have a game camera, at least you can see.
I think you'll come into play, you know, those 2 18-wheelers that always park over there? I think that's where you guys come into play.
To move them.
So I don't think they have permission or have any, I think they're not Walmart.
Who owns that property now? Who owns that?
City street.
It's the street,
Yeah.
it's the dead end right there.
And there's no.
City street.
Okay.
You know where the street dead ends
So
before?
y'all are, to this point, allowing them to park there?
No,
But
Well,
when you do,
there's been no
when you get
request.
this contract, y'all gonna want them out of there.
Yeah, because they're gonna put right there by the markers, they're gonna put this, container.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get that word out. I mean, you know, I don't ever see, I see trucks there. I don't see people parking them or leaving. When I go through there, there's always a truck or two there, but I don't ever see the
Like,
transaction.
I guess, you know, we just.
We're gonna have to put maybe some no parking signs and warn them that way, and I won't go about it the right way and say, hey, you can't park anymore, not just start issuing citations because of parking. They have to be educated. We gotta do that.
Do the right thing. I appreciate that. Like I said, just Mike, could you tell us that, you know, kind of give us an update, like, hey, this is how much effort we had to do as a city to clean up the site. You know, because we have to have some sort of metrics to say, is it worth the squeeze or not? But we're paying to recycle, and, you know, there's value in it, because they're recycling cardboard, the cost per ton has gone way up, so it's a good deal. You know, I think we just want to be a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
And, you know, I've had a lot of public asking, the citizens asking me about doing the recycle. And I think if it's done right, it'll work well.
Awesome. Okay, we got a motion and a second, all in favor?
With those changes,
Cool.
with those.
With those addendums,
Steve's well-worded motion.
there's a lot to do.
And clarification for the cost for the
Like
pickup.
I'm telling you.
I assume you're in on that too, Blake? All right. Number 12, I was really 13, but, is there a motion, to accept the resignation of employee number 19181 in the police department effective September 24th? Is there a motion second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, this is a, motion to request to deny a special exception for a property located on Lakewood Drive per the planning commission's recommendations. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, what was the date on that resignation for that employee?
September 24th.
It should be today,
Today,
the 24th.
21st.
Says the 21st.
Yeah,
Effective today, September 21st.
I'm sorry I didn't have it in front of me, but I don't know if it's too late, but it's today. If it's, needs to be fixed for the minutes. My bad.
Good chief, good catch. Number 15 or 14, request to accept the planning commission's recommendation to grant a zoning change for property located at 1027 Highway 42 from R1 to C2. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, request to accept the planning commission's recommendation to grant a zoning change for property located at 116 South George Street from R4 to R4 and C3 to just C. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody like this is delay. Number 16, yeah, you're doing good, like, request.
Just want to make sure I know what I'm saying.
That's,
It doesn't matter, we'll tell you later.
yeah, you're actually the only one voting. Number 16, request to set a variance hearing date of October 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. for the property located at 116 South George Street. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, that motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, request to accept agreement with AccuFund Online. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second for discussion?
Second with discussion, yeah. So I've been looking at the website and I've called some folks and, what they're telling me is the system we currently have is remotely accessible and that the cloud is only for backup purposes. So they're saying that anybody can be granted a password to access the database, that they can be restricted in what they're able to view, and that they can even be restricted as to viewer only. What I would like is to be able to view the work orders, because this is what I asked for today. And I could pass this around so you can see it, but there's no way I can tell where these properties are, what's going on. And I don't know how to set policy, and that is our job to set policy if I don't know what's going on. And so I would request that, I mean, I have no problem going to a cloud for backup purposes, but I want to make it clear to everyone that really, that's all that's for. That we already have remote access to that database. At least that's what the salesperson's telling me, and I know you can't completely trust a salesperson. But I'm asking those questions, and I was told that, in fact, this app right here I have on my phone can easily access that if I have a username or password, and I can easily view this database from any
What app?
computer. It's the, excuse me, it is called Work Orders, and it goes with the AccuFund app. I can send you a link to
We
it.
don't have an AccuFund app. I don't know anything about an AccuFund app.
It's exactly, and I don't know if it's new, I don't know what's going on, but basically it's just a smartphone portal to the system. And what I'm trying to say is, and I don't want, there's a lot of things there I don't need access
Who
to.
printed the work order thing for you? Did you?
I got these just
You got Lynn to do
moments ago. And, but what I need is access, and we were talking about sending me the database basically in the spreadsheet form, and that would be very helpful. But I feel like all the aldermen need access to that on a regular basis somehow. We need to be able to,
Alderman have never had access to
I can tell.
software.
I don't even have
The
access
mayor
now.
don't even have access.
Well, we need to change that.
No, my access is actually, I walk into Lynn and say, hey, what about?
I understand.
And that is available to auditors. Anything, if you can look at any of that stuff real time, and I'm getting into the day-to-day operations of the function of the city.
Well, I'm asking for information.
I got a feeling you're, with that information, are gonna turn around and come up here and say, no, you need to be doing A, B, and C instead of CBA
Only with board support,
every 2 weeks.
perhaps.
There we go, thank you. You just answered my question.
But I don't understand how we can set policy if we don't know what's going on. And like I spoke of earlier, I have people calling me saying, this work's being done, and I'm like, really? I wonder why, I don't understand that, and I don't know who put the order
Yeah,
in.
maybe because somebody called the alderman.
I think residents can call and they actually will get a work order started with it.
Correct. They call in City Hall a lot, she writes them up. I've got several in the box in there. Now we're, one's on Keller Rose Lane that the hole needs to be filled in, the mail lady won't put mail in the mailbox anymore, or whatever. I thought we'd already
I've not been extended that same courtesy.
So, I mean, it's hard.
I don't even have it.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is the information that was attempted to be printed out here, line by line here, if I look at it, I don't know when the work's being done. I don't know what work's being done.
Sounds like you need to make another trip up here. I'm sure Lynn would tell you to the extent that she could tell you. Mike would even tell you to the extent that he could be able to tell you. You usually, but obviously, you ask me for the street every time I've ever called you on it.
The printout that he's getting from her, on those printouts, when you talk to the company, they will set you up with what you want. Actually, I printed the sheet, you like it because it had the address on it. That's what I print, every once in a while for my people. Hey, these are all open, where we at on them and all this kind of stuff. And they come back and let me know. But mine's in it's in a wide landscape form and it's not 8 half 11 ways, and it's got the addresses on it. And we can print them assigned or complete or whatever. Now, the problem we run into back when Crystal was moved over here, a lot of all that went, because I had nobody keying all that stuff in. We didn't, then we lost the system and we couldn't communicate back and forth. So a lot of stuff wasn't getting keyed in or work orders being made in the system because we couldn't. So that's why we're in the process right now trying to, I had several work orders put in there and I couldn't get them in, couldn't get the system. We're trying to get all the bugs out. Before, everything was running smooth, then things rockety, and then we're gonna get back on track again. But it's just, another problem I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
And I understand how frustrating that is, and I know that everyone I talk to is doing their very best to give me the information I'm asking for. But what I'm saying is, it's unacceptable. Nobody's fault. As an alderman of the city, I'm trying to understand what's going on. I'm trying to develop policy. And if I can't understand what's happening, I can't do that. None of us can do our jobs if we don't understand what's happening. And I need confirmation that the things that we are talking about are happening.
You're wanting to see it in real time, but I can't have him half the day printing out stuff and making sure you get stuff in real time, or answering your phone call if you see we're at 8 a.m. in the morning, they're over there, doing something. Or why are you in this ward, not in my ward, or, to that extent.
You're concerned how I might use that information.
I know, pretty decent.
But I did,
Yeah.
but the alderman have a right to this information.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm asking,
and you have not been denied it, you actually have it in front of you.
well,
You just want it in a different form, and you want it in real time.
well,
And I do not feel as mayor that you get access to Accuphone. I don't see where that runs in our charter form of government, that you get that. I don't even have it. Do I want to know what's going on in real time? I pick my phone up, I call Mike, I come down here, I'm available 24/7. Any of the aldermen can come and talk to me and say, hey, what's going on this week? What's going on next week? What about this? What about that? I mean, I've been available for 12 years now. I'm not changing it just because I'm sitting here.
Well, can I just interject and maybe kind of come up with a different way to approach this, I am excited to see we have a process that works somewhat, right, Mike?
We're trying.
And I picked up where you moved your person over here, and just the entering the data, the issue, there's an issue there, but hopefully with the hire over there, that'll be cleaned up. If I go to the cloud, you won't have access issues now over there, because we're paying a lot of money for this cloud. This is part of this cloud update that we're doing, supposedly will take care of not only your site, but also the building department, right? Everyone's going to get home access, real-time access for the now. What I learned today was there's 9 users authorized that we're paying for. There's a cost per username. And before we make this debate, did we fix the 200?
Yeah,
All right, so there's actually a change to the proposal that we should,
$75.
yeah, well, $75 times 12. I mean, that's a lot of money to some of our citizens. So I mean, so I'm glad that
It's just $75. It's quarterly, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it.
that's per month. It's per month.
Yeah.
Per month. So we fixed that. So then that's just a little thing, we save some money. I'm fine with coming in and doing and getting the information and asking, because I think that's part of the relationship we have. Like I said, if we just ask, say, once a week, or come in and put it in our box, and if there's something above and beyond that, that's what we have to have those relationships, not only with Mike, but with the mayor, but also with Mike.
But just $75 per month.
Yeah, we pay it quarterly.
Yeah, so that's, so I think the system is there that we can use. I mean, let's leverage that, because I don't want to spend more money than to have each user cost how much? $180?
$81
$81.
for each
So I mean, again, yeah, that's
per month.
per month. So
What if I change what I'm asking for to make a printout of the database in a digital form, email?
The database is gonna change daily.
It'll change daily, but what if I get another one?
Don't you just get a report from Mike
yeah, that's every week.
every 2 weeks?
What I'm looking
Put it in the
for,
packet every 2 weeks.
I would prefer an Excel, because I can't search, I can't.
It can be
Yeah,
done,
Lynn doesn't
the
even
report
do
can be
one.
done in Excel.
There's probably a
There's no
better
problem there.
report that you could have.
If you turn that in with any of your agenda items on a,
know what to, you know.
Probably gonna run into though is if I give him, okay, this is everything we've done this month, okay? Well, I may have gotten a work order that was done previous month that got done as well. So I can only print out 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day completed or incomplete. So when I'm printing that, when I run 30-day report, well, one of the other ones I just done was an older work order. It's not gonna show me doing that one because that was 60 or 90 days. Does that make sense? It's a computer thing.
I get it.
They're gonna send us out 30 days.
Right, I mean, I can print on 30 days, but if I've done a work order that was created 45 days ago, it's not gonna
They
print
don't
that.
show up.
Right, because it was created 45 days. ago.
Even if
I
it's
was
not
doing
completed.
30 days.
Because you have tasks completed tasks. And the reason I say this is, I was actually pretty interested because there's actually a task I asked with my ward that's out there floating, that's not been assigned, because it's just, that's a communication, I didn't know who to turn to say, because if I just run in and say, hey, Mayor, I need this help, and he's got 20 things flying in his face, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I need to, I need to say just like regular citizens, not say, hey, this is the process. And when I realized that phone request isn't in that database, I just saw like, oh, shoot, I need to go back and engage. And that's the goodness of us tracking what happens in our ward, because I got a running list of what I think needs to happen in our ward, and I know there's priority. But if it's not even on the list, I'm like, oh, then you don't even know how to resource it.
Right,
So
but
that's,
if I print you the assigned work orders for 30 days, that 45th day one, you're not gonna see. So now I say, okay, I got one for 60 days. Well, what about that one that's 90 days? You know,
yeah, the ones that
You're not always
way
gonna-
there. Yeah, we have to figure a way that, I think you just ask it, I don't want real-time access before going, I just want that ability to go
I
in
don't
and ask.
necessarily need real-time access. I need, regularly updated spreadsheets. And
Why do you need this?
because our job is to set policy.
Well, that ain't set policy.
Well, how can I
That's,
set
that's
policy if I
like
don't know
doing
what's
your job,
happening?
it's work orders. You know,
How do I know how to set policy if I don't know what's happening?
'cause that's, I mean, our job is not to run day-to-day operations, that's day-to-day operations.
I will say, I do keep my thumb on most of the things going to the city, but I do try to let our department heads do their jobs and don't micromanage. There's places, I didn't realize y'all were doing the culverts today, but that is in keeping with what we do. I probably meet with Mike, and I knew beforehand I would meet and talk with Mike more than I do anybody, just because of the position that he has. So I try not to micromanage him in that thing, but I do want to kind of keep abreast of that. I think if you could print out, just get us one time or email along with whatever you turn in before every meeting. That way on Friday, when Melissa sends out the packet, she'd send y'all out, what Mike had as well, and we'll kind of see and tweak it as we go forward.
I think that'd be a great.
Make it better if we need to. We can always change it.
just make sure, I mean, we need one completed, we want assigned, we want, 90 days, 60, 30 days, what are we looking for?
But honestly, it would be a update, for the next time section, is say call it 2 weeks, because that's when we meet usually, so every 2 weeks.
Start every 30 days. You only do 30, or you can't do 2 weeks.
You can have a specific date range, but it's kind of a point click if you do a 30, 60, or 90. Which you have a specific and you go in and put a specific date range. But there again, 2 weeks, that's not gonna really give you a lot, because it's not gonna tell you what all you've been getting. If you have looked at 2 weeks before,
If you pass this test now, when we go to open up an IT position now,
But
Mike is pretty handy on the computer, by the way. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there.
I'm really concerned as the guy that's running the business here. I was elected because I am a business. That's why I have this job. I'm really concerned that this man was elected to run the city. And we help him, we give him input, but we can't sit there and micromanage and watch everything that's being done. Yes, we can go around the city and do what we need to do, but
understood.
and I understand what you're saying and I understand what you want to see. But when you start telling him how to delegate the jobs, I've got a major problem with that. Because when I ran the company, nobody told me how to run my company. I was put in that position for a reason. They entrusted me to do my job. If I didn't do my job, then I was moved out of that position. I never had that happen to me because I didn't allow my underlings, the people that were underneath me, because I talked to them on a regular basis and they did what I told them to do, or we had a conversation. Tony was elected to run the city. That's his job. I'm not gonna micromanage the man. I go to him and ask him to do things, and I trust that it's gonna get done. If not, then I follow up.
I agree with that. Our job, however, is to, set lasting policy.
I get that, but you're not asking for a policy. You're asking to go,
Setting policy, is not necessarily the same thing as dictating day-to-day operations.
Understood.
And that's why he was elected.
You know, like Craig said, Tony is responsible to the people in the same way that we are. You know,
I'm just asking for information.
I don't see or know that you've been denied any information.
Well, like I said, the information I'm getting is not what I need. I have a list of, a couple hundred items here that have no location, that have, I mean, there's nothing here of substance. Mike did show me that there's a better way to do it, and I want to make sure that we flesh out the best way to do it, so that the alderman can be informed as to what is going on in our room. Because it is our job to be informed.
And I think, Mike, if you could provide that, you know, what you talked about, and let's see how that rolls.
Yeah, at the end of every month, I've always turned in a report to the mayor showing exactly, as the previous mayor, exactly what all was done, how many potholes, how many locates were done, everyone locates, how many Durapatch we done with Durapatch roads, how many ditches we cleaned, how many culverts was installed. And he didn't give addresses, but it showed that we have productivity, and here's all the documentation if you want it, with all those work orders we printed out. No problem, we can do the Excel spreadsheet where you manipulate it, I can do it every 2 weeks. You let me know you want it 30 days, 90 days, I can do it whatever, however you want it. Like I said, right now, I'm having a problem with leaving, you're gonna see a sign, in progress, you know, a lot of different things, so.
That sounds separate.
Whatever, Mike, they're getting too much airtime passable.
Okay.
Anyway, appreciate you, thank you. All righty, we got a motion and a second.
Well,
What is the motion to take it? I never got.
To request,
Consent agreement with that.
Okay,
what is the actual agreement? I mean, it's changed from the one.
Change that $75, they're gonna send me an updated one tomorrow.
Okay, so everything's the same, minus $75 per month, okay, good.
we got a motion and a second, all in favor? Number 18, a request to accept the resignation of employee 18725 in the Recreation Department.
motion.
Second.
Discussion. Josh, talk to us about, is that how,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I don't want specific, I just want, how are you doing without, this is,
Okay.
you've had 2 down. I mean, can we go to the well, or to get to the temp guys, or what do we do to help you out?
I'm in the process of moving to those guys full-time, and then I'm gonna go back and get them 2 more, ask for 2 more. So we're making it work, organizing it the way I need to get what's more important done at the moment, but we're taking care of it.
Okay. Nothing, you know, anything else from us?
No, sir. Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you, I'm really glad the grass is starting to slow down, right?
Yes, sir.
Shortly.
All righty, and we got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Orders and ordinances, number 19, request to adopt an order raising the pay rate for employees in the building department. I'll spit that out. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Discussion.
Okay, second for discussion, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat this horse in this one, but I think, because we talked about it last night briefly, the mayor, and I do appreciate what you come back and said, we're gonna address evaluations. Because look at this, the handbook, it says that, you know, performance evaluations shall be placed in employees' personal files, reviewed by the mayor and board of aldermen, considering merit, salary increases or promotions. I think realistically, I can make make a motion for every one of these. So what I understand, you really don't have any sort of HR effort that talks about reviews and evaluations that help performance evaluations of our employees. Yes, I think that's what we kind of decided and determined recently. Is that fair to say? Minus the police, minus the fires.
I want to be clear about this because we do have, how many we got in here? 4, 5.
The whole
Well,
team.
6.
They're all here.
Good night, no matter what, how I word this. I want to be clear, and in keeping with the spirit of the handbook, is that we would give at the discretion of the department head to have a verbal or a written, thank you, Steve, written review on an annual basis, which I think most of us do anyway. If anybody, it's probably us up here just because we're in such close proximity. But I do think a sit-down review with everybody. Also, we always view it as our department head sitting down and analyzing the employee, but it also gives a chance for the employee to say, hey, here's some things I'm concerned about. Here's where I see myself in the future. What is, here's what I've got going on. So in keeping with that, I will, address that with the employees.
I guess I was saying, I didn't see where the verbal written, is that in the handbook or on page?
It actually doesn't say we have to do anything one way or the other. It just says if we do one, that it would be in the employee's file available for us. So they don't really even have to turn it into us as it reads. And Chief Hendry, in keeping with that, my reading of the employee handbook is you say you have a better form than we provided you, right?
We were using one that was made specifically for the fire department.
I think you're actually free to do to run your department in that matter and use the one that you think's the best. I don't want to tie you to one.
We changed that several years ago because Wendy asked us to do the uniform for the entire city. She wanted everybody to use the same format.
Like I said, the wording of it, it doesn't say, it just says they will be available. It doesn't say that they must be done and you shall use this form that we're giving you. I mean, we can tweak the thing, but I don't have a problem with having a verbal or written either way. I know you're in the trenches with the guys, so you're with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing with Melissa. She don't have to sit you down once a year to see if you're doing your job. You're right around the corner. She knows if you're doing your job or not. I got to ride around to see some of y'all if that's the case. But we'll definitely discuss that with each department head, and so each one of them can come up with something that they feel comfortable with to make sure we have accountability.
Yeah, because I'm a firm believer in evaluations. It helps the employee because they just set performance goals and objectives to get them to move forward and then make a better effective workforce.
Well, if you did it annually, that's their one chance to say, hey,
and I'm not going to dictate, that's a good discussion. I think what we said yesterday was we'll sit down and have when we update this book, because right now it's very, it says shall or will. I mean, depends how you interpret from a lawyer to say, well, it's not required.
We might have got Rocky involved in that.
But from a policy perspective, I think the city deserves having employees to have a good evaluation.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's fair. It takes care of them. It protects the individual, protects the organization, and it allows us to set some guidance up here. Like I said, we're gonna trust the department heads when they come up and say, hey, this guy deserves to be promoted or deserves to get demoted or move on or whatever. But that's all about setting the evaluation to help that employee, because they said we want an effective workforce for the city. We have a $10 million organization. You can't just do anything by verbal. I hate to say it like that, but that's not a good policy. So, but I think what you said yesterday, that we'll relook this and actually have a firm policy.
Well, you've seen the one I did with the take-home cards. It said Forest County, so I would rather have a set number coming outside the city limits, because Brooklyn's further than Moselle, for instance.
Yeah, we're talking about evaluation, not car takes off.
We are addressing that, but I'm just saying there's other areas in there that we probably need to pick back. If y'all chose that, we'll go to a real, the board, if that's the will of the board, we'll do it in that manner. As it stands now, if I talk with the department head, he feels comfortable doing verbal reviews, I'm good with that. And if he would note that they did them, that they were actually accomplished, I'm good with that as well. But if it changes, obviously we'll change with whatever the will of the board is.
So like I said, I'm not going to make any more, concessions for each one, but I don't think, like I said, we'll go down here and we don't have any, we're relying upon information or lack of information we have from the board. But most of these raises are basically to meet cost of living adjustments, because that's really what most of them are. They're not merit, very few are merit, to my understanding. And most of them are actually, you're just getting the pay scales correctly with, respect to department heads of someplace else.
That's
make sure
what I was gonna try to bring out to you guys. For the past 11 years I've been here, raises are given across the board, very little discretion. We've had a little bit, one year where we were able to make different adjustments in different ranks, because we needed to spread those pay grades out. But for the most part, the evaluation is not used for raises, obviously, because it's not been dependent upon us getting any raises. Evaluations have not been looked at that. That would indicate that you're gonna do a merit type raise. Does this person Zane, he'd get more money because she's been doing more work all these years and she does a good job? Or is she gonna not get a raise because you don't feel like she had? So if you evaluate, then you need to reward those that do the work and make the grade. So I mean, otherwise, we still across the board. You can evaluate all you want, no matter what the evaluation said, evaluate the same thing or the same amount.
Yeah, I don't wanna go, evaluations are not just about promotion, about money. It's about, taking care of your individual, talking about training, talking about academic opportunities, talking about, advancement, professional development. I mean, this is not, setting objective goals, because again, we're not always going to get more money. But you can, there's other ways to talk about developing your team. And that's how it's about climate, it's about leadership. So, if we only do evaluations to give money, that's a wrong way to do evaluations. And that's the really almost the least of my concern. That's why I'm not going to say no to these, because I'm more focused on the policy and taking care of our workforce, because I don't want to have a reason why we're getting rid of people, because, they're not trained and effective, replace them with an O&M, some outside organization. So.
I wasn't aware we were doing that. Anybody that I see brought forward for termination is for just cause. It's not for poor performance in the workplace.
I thought you were just stretching your legs, Chief,
For just cause.
while you were standing up. You were afraid Mike was getting too much airtime?
No, not at all.
All right, we got a motion and a second, all in favor? Thank y'all. Congratulations, Amy. Thank you for the job you do for us.
Appreciate it, Amy.
You were just the one that I could talk about. It's the same process for all of them.
That went longer than it should.
Yeah, exactly. Not to hold you to suspense. That was not a
Talking
suspense.
themselves out of this, or? But, anyway, number 20, request to adopt an order increasing the rate of pay for employees in the financial department. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Number 21, request to adopt order increasing the rate of pay for employees in the executive department. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? That's not me. Just making sure. Yeah, that's for Miss Wanda. I will reserve a raise for her. Number 23, we've asked number 22, and appreciate you, Chief, taking the lead on that. He's interested. Obviously, we budgeted a spot for him and the chief and the assistant chief to get a pay raise, but he said if his men can't get one right now, he said he's just assuming wait. And I appreciate you taking a leadership role in that, and we'll hopefully get some good news come springtime, and we'll be able to look at that. I know we still have to look at the police, but these things have been budgeted. These aren't, these still fit inside the numbers we've already discussed budget wise. But anyway, number 23, request to adopt an order of raising the rate of pay for certain employees in the judicial department. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? The reason is a couple of the, the judges, and some of them are not getting a pay raise. We said that previous, and this is for some of the day-to-day folks that are over there, and they do a great job for us. Number 24, request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for employees in the Civic Center. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 25, request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for employees in the Senior Center.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for certain employees in the Water Department. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know about this one. Number 27, request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for the Public Works Director. Is there a motion?
Absolutely. Motion.
Yeah, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good job, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for still answering my phone calls and text. Number 28, request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for employees in the street department.
Motion.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 29, request to adopt an order raising the rate of pay for certain employees in the recreation department.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Discussion on this one, just, because Josh, like I said,
For a second, and go ahead.
this is another example where, like, a lot of our entry level employees in our city of Belleville, we're not paying what other municipalities are paying. I mean, so it's not just the department heads, but even our basic water workers, our street guys, we're not, you think they're coming in here with, getting more than Hattiesburg or some other place they're not. So it's really incumbent upon leadership, department heads to make them want to be part of the team. So we're giving them $3 less than they can get if they go across the street. So I see that, and it's the same thing for almost like the police department. It's really incumbent upon the leadership that makes them want to stay and be part of the team. So the challenge is there, and it's difficult because money is not going to call people who want to stay all the time. It's how we take care of them. So I appreciate you setting up, and that's the part of the department heads. But again, people don't realize when we do all the numbers, it's tough. That 50 cents or $1, you're only still making $12. That's $3 less than right across the street. It's not fair, but it's not, but we're doing our thing to take care of the people as well as we can. So I appreciate you stepping up.
And we haven't given raises in a lot of departments, in quite some time.
2017, most of them.
And so when you do have an opportunity, I think it was really great. I want to, I guess I could add this into the mayor's report. I want to thank the board for their diligence in putting this together. You're joining a train as it's already heading down the track, and it's tough to kind of hold on and get your wits about you and figure out what we need to do. But we really addressed a lot of things. And I still think we left some stuff and played it smart when it comes to the conversation we can have next year with that budget. So if everybody will do the right thing, shop and pedal like crazy, eat out and pedal like crazy, buy houses and pedal like crazy, we can have a great conversation. But I know this board's heart through this process is to get some things done and hold the line for us how expensive it is to live in this city. So I appreciate that. That we are very adamant about that. So, I think we did the smart thing. We want to see if our numbers stick. So we don't want to overextend ourselves, and that's my commitment as well, is take a business-like approach when it comes to these type of matters. So if we have to cry uncle, I'm going to cry out loud. The board's going to hear it when I say it. We're going to get in here and hopefully not run into some of the landmines that we've ran into on occasion. But anyway. Appreciate y'all's work. Thank you. Thankful for the board. Thankful for the workers, for the pay. What you do, you get paid, you go out and earn it again, and then you later this week on Thursday, I'll be traveling to Tunica. Excited about that. Being appointed to the MML board of directors. Thanks to Mayor Toby Barker. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about. I know just enough to be dangerous, so it'll be a learning experience for me. But I think it's good to have our name, the city of Petal, associated in other areas of the state. I think we're at that stage. And thankful for that. And if anything happens, please call Mayor Pro Tem Stringer, that he will be available for anything that happens. Oh, okay. I was getting on it. See, Melissa usually does that. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Let's vote on number 20, a request to raise the rate of pay for certain employees in the rec department. There's a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
I know the folks, Josh is one. Were you wondering, Josh?
Yeah.
A little bit like, hey, is he gonna? You know, especially if I called you going home, like, hey, man, we forgot that.
Oh, I brought it up.
I
appreciate that. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, today I was having my eyes done. I had a problem with one of my eyes. I met the eye doctor. And the young lady says, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a drug wreck." She said, "Didn't I see you in the paper?" So I said, "Well, I'm an alderman federal." She started praising us for our 3D school. She said, "We moved to this area because of the 3D school. We have people that on our board that moved in this area because of the 3D school." I'm starting to hear people praise us and say really good things about the city. Let's keep moving that forward. I was more worried that she was going to say something bad and then operate on my eye, but she praised us.
Absolutely.
And I'm able to look at you now.
Good point.
I'm winking at you. I'm not winking at you. I'm winking at you. I'm still trying to get it done.
Before we get out of here, the sewer and stuff that I brought up last night, I'll have a number for y'all at the next meeting. And basically it is an effort that people that aren't paying us their sewer bills, we're talking about folks that really owe us a bit of money. At some point in the process, we'll send Mike Trest out to your house, and he will stop up, turn off your sewer line. We don't have a number associated with a reconnect fee in that situation. We actually do for water, but not sewer. So the number is probably going to be around $650, and we'll be glad you'll come and pay your bill up to date. Give us the $650. We'll come back out there and hook your sewer back up. There's an easy way to do that. We'll, on the front end, we're gonna give you plenty of paperwork to let you know that we need you to pay, and all that good stuff. The other one is our PSA agreement is getting ready to go out, and I'll have Jana, and Jerry at the next meeting. We can do workshop work on that Tuesday, probably workshop, and then we can add it to Tuesdays if we need to, and, we can pick through that agreement as well. But it'll work as is for the 4 or 5 days before then.
The mayor, so one last thing is that, on Friday, one of our best businessmen, Mick Shoemaker, has his, retirement ceremony or luncheon over at First Southern Bank. He's worked many moons there. But, loving the, I think one is the, opening session in there. So, again, he's a fixture in our community from football, pill, the, business and chamber. So if y'all get a chance to, swing by and shake his hand there.
I was gonna send all y'all invitations, but again, he sent me one and told me about everybody, so.
Yeah, it's Friday at 11 and 1. So it'll be a good opportunity. Like I said, we're a community because of the people in our community, Yeah, so appreciate that. And thank you, Mayor, for tonight.
True. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just figured out Michael was the only one getting paid by the hour, so I got.
Yeah,
You don't mind. Okay, we're good.
Oh, I mean. You never want to stop. See, that, it's like, hey,